everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom. I have just witnessed Derby County 2, Ipswich Town 0. If I look a little peed off, it's not because of the football, it's because I walked 10 minutes the wrong way to get to my car, 10 minutes back. So this review is 20 minutes later than it would have been due to my sheer geographical ineptitude. Derby, I saw them on the opening day of the season against Reading. Bit of a different lineup from them today. Carson in goal, across the back, Bogle, Keogh, Tomoki, Forsyth, Evans sitting in midfield with Bryson and Mount in front of him. I complained when I first saw Derby this season, their midfield looked disorganised. It looked more organised while Evans was in there. He wouldn't last the game though. Bennett down the right, Lawrence down the left, and David Nugent, the scourge of Ipswich for many a long year, up front. No Martin Waghorn, interestingly. Ipswich, only one change from Saturday's fighting draw against Aston Villa. Teo Eden obviously red carded and suspended. So Białkowski, Donasian and Ciala, Chambers and Knudsen, the back four, fairly settled. Chalobah and Skew sitting in midfield. Edwards to the right, Nolan in the middle. Ward comes in to the left and Ellis, Harrison up front. Off we go, and Derby started the better. Lawrence into the box on 2 minutes. Bryson shoots from distance, first shot of the game, way over. Nolan goes down. If you'll excuse the pun, he gets up a bit gingerly, but I was worried he was going to go off. Be interested in Ipswich fans' comments on Nolan's physicality in terms of the Championship, whether he might be a step behind there. 7 minutes, Harrison, chest the throw, back falls to Chalobah, left foot half volley. Carson lets that one bounce wide. Horrible giveaway by the aforementioned Chalobah in midfield on 14. Mount takes it on, Bryson overlaps. Nugent is unmarked, but he can't find him. I didn't think that was a great cross on a run by Bryson. Easy header into the goal for Nugent if he had found him. 15 minutes, this was an irritation in the first half because Ipswich's two best moments and positions came from their pressing the Derby back line, who didn't really still seem comfortable with Lampard's passing style, and the two best moments were stopped by pretty cynical professional fouls. Everybody does them, but irritating. Bryson, so he takes out Ward, and the counter-attack is pretty much 2-on-1. Ward had knocked it past him and he just hoiks him down for the yellow card on halfway. A good tactical foul if you're a Derby fan, annoying if you're an Ipswich fan. Quick free kick to Nolan, he beats his man, shoots weakly wide, left-footed from 25 yards, opened up for him. Evans took a bash on the knee maybe on about 20 minutes. He went down for a while, seemed very eager to play on. Lasted about another 5 minutes and he wasn't right, so it'll be interesting to see. That's an impact one, whether he'll be back for Saturday. Trudged off looking very sad. 27 minutes, Derby fans are starting to get impatient with particularly with Keogh at the back and the tempo of the passing out. It looked like there was something in it for Ipswich if they could frustrate the crowd and get in the players' heads. That was the start of the turn there. Lovely straight ball slid to Nugent on the edge of the box. Good chance this, makes space for himself. He's on the left foot. It did open up for him. He wrong-footed the defender and he's off balance. I think it was Chambers. He curls it with the left foot. He had a good sight of goal there, and for a good player like Nugent, a fairly decent chance. Białkowski, big dive to the right-hand side, but just wide. Unlucky, good chance. Dangerous cross in from Bennett. Two-handed punch from Białkowski. Bryson volleys it back and Ciala is well placed and blocks it. Ipswich have their best period now up until half time. Break down the right for Ipswich, over to Knudsen, feeds Ward in. First effort is blocked, but he gets another go. It's a poor clearance. He goes into the box, sets himself on the right foot, gets the shot off, but it takes a touch on the way through and goes through to Carson in the goal for an easy saver. Good Ipswich press on 41. Harrison robs Keogh, and it's another professional foul saves Derby. There's an overload here. Derby very guilty of having the last man on the ball, and if they're not comfortable, they will get swallowed up by good pressing. He hoiks down Harrison and takes the yellow card. Again, Ipswich 2-on-1 if that attack had been allowed to continue. Ipswich corner flying up in the air, falls invitingly for Chalobah, but he rushes his left foot volley and shanks it to the left when well positioned. Ward was free and open if there was a little bit of composure there and a touch onto him. So we go to half time. Derby started well, Ipswich finished well. Derby probably slightly edge it on the chances, but the caveat to that is Ipswich's two best positions in that half were stopped by cynical fouls by, you'd say, clever, experienced pros, Forsyth and Keogh. Derby fans starting to get frustrated with the passing out of the back. Into the second half, Skews is late on Ledley. He takes a yellow card on 46. Nice run from Bogle down the right. He comes inside, he feeds Mount, doesn't have much time to shoot and it kind of bobbles wide. Nolan creates a yard up the other end. His shot trickles wide. Interesting sub on 54. I don't know if it's anything to do with the yellow card, anything to do with tiredness. Skews comes off on 54. Certainly never seen him come off that early without an injury problem. It didn't look like there was. Whether he's been saved for Saturday, whether he was knackered after the previous Saturday and playing with 10 men. But Downs comes in for Skews. 55 minutes, Ward gets a free kick. Or rather takes a free kick, very dangerous position in the right corner position. Chambers climbs and heads it over. It's just a little bit too high for him. And then on 59 minutes, Derby take the lead and all bias aside with a pretty muggy goal. The corner goes in from the right. It's cleared out to Ledley. He's got a bit of time. I don't know who was covering the edge of the box for Ipswich. Everybody charges out. Ledley hits the volley. He keeps control of it, a la his manager. I'm sitting side on from this. I haven't seen a replay, but it must have deflected because Białkowski sets himself and then he completely just stops and watches it fly into the top corner. So I'm thinking Ledley hits it. Whoever is rushing in from the block, again, excuse me, I've seen this once in real time from side on. Whoever hits it probably obscures Białkowski's view, and then I think the ball flicks off their side and flies in the top corner. And I often say this, just annoying. You would like to think if a team take the lead, they'd have to do a bit to score. They won a corner, it got cleared, a guy stands on the edge of the area, the shot's deflected. In it goes. Sounds like sour grapes, but they didn't really have to do a lot to take the lead on 60 minutes, Derby. Caden Jackson comes in for Ellis Harrison, who again seemed to be a bit isolated up the front. He's doing his best to win these headers, but not a lot going on around him, it has to be said. Unsiala takes out Lawrence on 66 minutes, runs across him. He takes a yellow card, and Lawrence takes the free kick on 67, and this is 2-0. He hits it right-footed to the side of the wall, and it's becoming a bit of a theme. Well, two themes this season. Ipswich are conceding goals from set plays in every single game they're playing, and Białkowski as well. We were overjoyed when he signed his new contract. Yes, we've got this top championship goalkeeper. The free kick comes through. I don't know how hard Lawrence hits it. If Białkowski was obscured by his wall, then frankly the wall was mispositioned. He gets a hand onto it, but it's not strong enough, and that's normally what we really credit him for. When he does get a hand on the ball, it's always powerful and he makes the save, but he doesn't. It goes through him, bounces up into the goal. And again, I don't want to sound like a biased Ipswich fan, but Derby did not have to do a lot to score these two goals. They won a corner, they counter-attacked, and they won a free kick. Lawrence has made a good start to the season. I believe that's his third goal already, so good luck to him. I was always a fan of Lawrence when he was on loan at Ipswich. But Derby are 2-0 up, and Ipswich have really thrown the game, two set plays, and it's pretty much over here on 67. Joseph soon comes in for Bennett. Bennett showed good pace but wasn't that big a threat. Jordan Roberts comes in for Gwion Edwards, and Hurst switches the wingers over. Interestingly, he keeps Ward on. I don't know whether you'll see Ward on Saturday for that reason now. Edwards certainly rested. I would have thought he'll play on Saturday. So Roberts comes in, plays down the left. Ward moves over to the right. Josephson comes inside, feeds Mount wide from the edge of the box there. Marriott comes in for Nugent. So the peak Ipswich thing would have been for Waghorn to come on and score the winning goal, but that didn't happen today. So just a bit of a muggy defeat rather than a humiliating one. Ward, corner again. Chambers wins the header, shows good desire, but puts it wide. No danger there. Good press by Jackson here. He's held up well in the corner. It comes back to Chalobah. Poor technique by Chalobah. He takes the shot on right-footed first time, and it goes way over. Nolan puts Jackson away one-on-one on 86 with Tomoki. He works him quite well, makes a yard for the shot, but it's straight at Carson. And that is all she wrote. So, look, let's talk about the mitigating factors. Ipswich did play on Saturday with pretty much the same team. They played with 10 men for 50 minutes. And presumably travelled yesterday, so not the best recovery time. So I'm just getting the mitigating factors out of the way, but it didn't really work today. I don't want to go over the top with it, but the worries are, well, the big worry is going forward and creating chances. There's not much of it happening. I don't think this is down to any particular player. I think it's systemic, and from what I can see from watching this 4-2-3-1 system is, when I saw them lining up in the friendly against weaker teams, the fullbacks are pushing on. This is not happening now. So you can take the fullbacks, they're not, and I'm not saying it's their responsibility, but so the fullbacks are not contributing from an attacking point of view. When I saw them at Barnett and Milton Keynes, it seemed to be the idea was that they push forward and the wingers can come inside and support the front man. This is not happening. The two central midfielders, Chalobah and Skews, are not much of a presence from an attacking point of view. So basically, you're leaving the four guys fairly isolated, and I don't think the team are attacking together. The good moments we've had this season have all pretty much come from Edwards and his dribbling ability, not players getting forward. I think the idea of this system is the fullbacks get forward, the wingers come inside to support, the midfielders push on, and you can really create all sorts of overloads, three per side there, and Nolan getting up to support Harrison in the box, little groups of three. This is not happening at all. I feel a bit sorry for Harrison. He's trying his best in the air. Two hulking centre backs today, and not much doing for him. I don't think he's to blame. We're not getting the wide players into position, and Nolan looks like a player, but he's not able to contribute in areas where it's going to hurt. I think the whole thing needs to shove up a bit and be a bit more ambitious. The whole shape needs to shove up. I know that sounds like a bit of a fluffy reason, but from what I can see, that's why the chances are not coming. The other worry is, frankly, if you're going to concede a goal pretty much every set play, or rather, sorry, not every set play, but Blackburn scored from a set play, Exeter scored from a set play, Rotherham scored from a set play, Villa did not, did they? But two today, again, a corner and a free kick. That needs to be eradicated, because you can play as well as you like, but if you're going to concede from a set play all the time, you're not going to win that many games, and you're going to have to score a hell of a lot of goals, you know, 2 per game if you concede one to do any winning. So I'm worried about the set play defence, and I'm just worried systemically. I don't know whether it's tiredness or whatever, that they're not getting enough players forward together, even if it's groups of 3 or 4 at the same time, to create chances. That's my view. I'd be very interested in anyone who watched on the I Follow stream or the Sky Red button, or who was at the game, whether you agree with me on that and why you think the goals are not coming. I do not think it's as simple. I said this on the Blue Mountain podcast. Do not think it's as simple as, oh, you stick 2 up front and that solves it. It doesn't really seem that straightforward to me. I think it's about moving and attacking together in clusters of players, and it's not happening. You can look at the sales, but I think, again, if you stuck Waghorn, Garner, whoever in, okay, Garner might have won a couple more headers, but those players are not going to score without support and without good service. That is my view. Be interested in Ipswich fans' opinions in that. Get the debate going in the comments down there. Derby won. I didn't think they were very good. That doesn't say a lot for Ipswich, but they haven't quite got whatever Lampard's trying to get going. Yeah, it was a very different team personnel-wise than I saw opening day against Reading, and I think they're being bailed out a bit by Lawrence and a bit by individuals, let's just say. They looked more organised today, but the crowd seemed very impatient with the passing out the back. If you're a Derby fan, tell me, is this troubling? Have you got the patience to see this thing through? And can Keogh and others actually do it? They look a way off being a slick, passing, energetic side. They dispatched Ipswich today, so, you know, fair dues. They looked reasonably solid at the back, but like I say, Ipswich didn't create much, didn't attack well as a team. And in terms of goal threat, there wasn't a lot there. They scored from a corner and they scored from a free kick, so 2 set plays. So I think you're looking at a Derby team that has got a fair way to go, but what I would say in comparison with Ipswich, there's a lot of good players there that when they hopefully do fit into this system, it's gonna work well for them. But be interesting to see how patient the fans are with the passing and whether Lampard sticks with that philosophy. If you're a Derby fan, let me know if I've got that right in the comments. How far along do you think you are? What would you give yourself out of 10? So in conclusion, I think Derby are a way to go. Fair play. They got the win today. They didn't have to do too much to get there. Ipswich, I was far more pleased with the performance on Saturday against Villa than I was today, and I think it just needs a bit more energy all around for this to work. And these two worries, it's a very bad combination: not scoring many goals and creating many chances, and conceding a lot from set plays. Both those things need to be eradicated if you're going to do anything this season. That said, I'm not panicking. There's still signs that it's going to work, so hopefully let's give it a bit more time, and I think we'll know really where we are after the first international break. Unfortunately, Norwich comes before the first international break, so I hope they've sorted it out by then. I'm going to be quiet. Please, it's a work in progress, so what I'm saying is just my opinion. I could be wrong. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Get the debate going. Derby fans, Ipswich fans. Follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll be seeing Ipswich many more times this season, and hopefully Derby a few more. Be interested to see how all of this goes. Off we go home, and I will see you after Sheffield Wednesday on Friday.